Things like the revolution starts inside. People think it's just an aspirational, glossy-eyed message, right? But no, literally everything that happens on the planet at the hands of humans comes from some state of human consciousness. There is no thing that happens before it starts out as a thought or a concept, an idea in the unincarnated space. Even on a collective scale, it comes from beliefs, some internal perspective, or some widespread dominant idea or way of thinking. Think about some of the dominant beliefs going around. Think about that belief of well, we're powerless. Humans aren't capable of fixing things. Humans aren't capable of organizing. They aren't capable of changing things. This is just how humans are. Like, that's a belief I'm sure you've heard. This is our nature. Our nature is destruction. Like, all these things. These are beliefs I'm sure you've heard people just like let fly out of their mouths. I won't go down a rabbit hole, but like, who benefits from you thinking that way and speaking that way? I'll wait. What ideas are you spreading? Like, how are you helping the cause? You know what I mean? Everything, literally everything that exists in the physical world outside your window comes from energy being organized in a way that allows for those things to happen. Reality is comprised of energy, literally. People want to discount energy work, but it is negative energy work that got us into the situation to begin with. Okay? So energy can clearly be organized to certain means. So energy work is directly connected to what physically manifests. Just like how your thoughts can create ailments in the body and tension and sickness, our collective frequency creates the physical world we see, the tightness, the pain, the illness, like on a planetary level. Violence or war? Shit, that's like arthritis on the planet. Cancer, it's like inflammation, upheaval. If we start to see us as a whole and not these fragmented microcosms or separate worlds. Moral of the story, the process is literally from the inside out. If everyone in the world, or even just 30% of people on the planet in some way, but in some real way, expanded internally, started to see things differently and more expanded from their own subjective point of view. Like, imagine just 30% of the population were exposed to ideas that expanded them. What do you think would happen in the outside world? How do you think that would translate to the world at large? What ripple effects would there be? Well, I'll tell you, there will be fewer people who greenlight tyranny and violence. There will be more people who choose the more elevated action. There will be more people who use their voice instead of remaining bystanders. We do the work by connecting to ourselves and to others. When we connect to others, we connect to ourselves. When we connect to ourselves, I can connect to others. So those of you who are currently still under that really strong spell that you are personally powerless and that we are personally powerless, yeah, it would really help the cause if you dissolve that. Like, I kind of need you to lock in on your time. On your time. It's no rush. Well, let's lock in, you know? Okay, disclaimer done. The revolution is here and it starts in your nervous system, okay? If you can control what your nervous system knows to be the case, you effectively control your reality. Because by controlling your nervous system, you have dominion over your filter, over your lens, over how you see the world. Everything means something different depending on the settings of your nervous system. Like, think about someone talking in front of a crowd. To one person's nervous system, this is attack. I am not going to survive this. The cortisol is spiking. I am terrified. To someone else, it's I am safe here. I am happy here. I gain energy from speaking to crowds. Crowds love me. I love these spaces. I grow every time I talk to a crowd. And those people are having fun and talking. Like, it's just how you perceive it, bro. However you see yourself or whatever you believe about yourself is not fixed. It's just what you've practiced the most and what you're settled into. It's a groove. It's a pocket you're in. But you can literally become a different person. Like, I'm just being so for real with you. So we're talking about the nervous system, right? And if you've seen some of my other videos, I often talk about how things that are of the same essence or the same frequency can exist on different layers or in different realms, or you can see it as in different people's perceptions. So for example, this idea of healing the nervous system is actually the same frequency of concepts such as quantum leaping or manifestation or neuroplasticity, however you want to see it. So we could really argue all day about which one is right, which one is accurate, but regardless, on a frequency level, they all kind of occupy the same note, the same frequency. We're just coming from different vantage points. It's like, know which arguments are worth having. That's the discernment I think people kind of need to develop as time goes on as well. Learn which arguments are actually progressing the plot versus what's just filling empty, like what's just chatter. We really, as a whole, need to start seeing and perceiving in frequency so we don't get so lost and caught up in verbiage when we're all experiencing the same phenomena, you know? When we do this, we fragment ourselves by choosing to focus on the difference rather than what's obviously and painfully consistent or coherent. It's like awareness, choosing what to focus on. So as a collective, we need to build that muscle of choosing where to direct our awareness, choosing what to believe, choosing how we're going to decide to think and lead our lives, the manner in which we live. Now, what I really want to get into is the importance of safety, okay? The frequency of safety, of being settled. Boy, this is like the gem. This is the key. This is the unlock to start living life. This is like the most important and foundational frequency in order for everything else in your life and reality to function properly. Then I want to give you like a visualization technique to help build this new understanding into your nervous system, something you can practice in a way to alchemize tension into freedom. How to be safe. Let's talk about delusion. Let's talk a little bit about delusion, but the delusion that makes you powerful, untouchable, and safe. Okay? To become the most confident person in the world, you really just have to make yourself believe or know. For the sake of this video, understand believing is the same as knowing, because a belief is just what you choose to know, what you choose to make true in your reality. So believing and knowing, believing is not pretend. Believing is like making yourself know something where that is real in your world, okay? So to be the most confident person in the world, you have to make yourself know that you are the safest person in the world. Like to dissolve all the tension in your body that comes from this stance of defense, protection, vigilance, scanning. You want to, in the different realms in which you exist, on the different levels of body, mind, spirit, you want to ingrain safety. If you just knew you were the safest person in the world, like really imagine you had a bubble around you and people's energy, whatever, like you were going to be safe. You are safe regardless. You are anointed. Every step is blessed. If you had a bubble around you that just reinforced your safety, you would move very differently throughout the world. You'd become more bold. You'd also become more easygoing in other circumstances. You would take risks and not even see them as risks. You'd see them as investments, quests, chances for expansion or advancement. What would you do in this life if you absolutely knew for a fact that you would be safe? Meaning you knew from the beginning to the end, this path would be ordained by God, blessed, that you will remain safe throughout the whole experience. What path would you choose to just like embark on? You know, what radical idea lives in the back of your mind? What suddenly comes up to the front? If you knew you had that blessing over you, if you had absolute certainty of your safety, what would you do? What would you start on a path toward if you knew it would happen, if you knew you'd reach it safely? What would you start? I'm like, that was